on TV, and this is take number 3. The first attempt, it was a fail. The second attempt, it wasn't on mic. But they call me 3 for a reason. We go get it done right here. But you see by the title, we're talking about how I was able to get a Type R at 20 years old. People ask how I get a Type R. Really, it all depends on how you are financially stable at your age or whatever age you are, especially at a young age. Me personally, I was able to
make
get
sure
it
you have good
because
credit.
I had a decent enough job to where the point where I knew I could handle paying the car, paying the insurance, do everything I needed to, also handle things outside of that. That's basically how my thought process was. Why I got the Type R? To be honest, I asked myself there's many reasons why. I know obviously there's not that many. They only make a certain amount. So that was one of the things I like. I've always been a person, I like things of not having what everyone else has. So when I see people with Type R, most of the time it's not really anybody young. As if like, you know, most people my age, you get Infinity, either like Infinity, SI, what are the cars you see?
Volkswagen.
Yeah, Volkswagen, regular cars. Like it's nothing wrong with them. I had a Volkswagen, 2 of them before this. There's nothing wrong with them, but I just want something that was gonna kind of stand me apart, kind of just something different that I like. People ask about the insurance. They're like, well, you're 20 years old. How do you get the insurance? I know your insurance is crazy high. It's actually not that bad. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like many other kids when it comes to like any young adults when it comes to insurance. I did not think about the insurance when I first got the car. My dad had to tell me the day of, he's like, yo, did you go check the insurance yet? I was like, no. I was like, what you talking about insurance? Insurance ain't gonna be nothing, because most of the time when I paid my insurance for my other cars, I'm thinking it was $150, probably something like that. Nothing too bad is gonna break my bank. But when he told me $480 in insurance, I said, whoa. But King Battle over here, he kindly helped me get my insurance right, kept me right. I'm gonna speak on that also, a part of the insurance. I previously have, like many young people, I know I'm not the only one who has either a speeding ticket or reckless driving. I have a reckless driving and a speeding ticket. I got one a year ago around this time, and I got one a week before I got the car. So that also didn't help my insurance upon that. So yeah, try not to get put over. And what's crazy is once I got the car, once I got the car, I went straight to work because I remember we was at the dealership for like 4 or 5 hours. I don't know why, but it took us forever to do that. And so I had to go straight to work. And as soon as I get off, I'm talking about, I was only driving for about 5 minutes. And it just happened. A cop never sits in this lane. He just happened to sit, and I ended up just cruising by. I'm talking about, I'm not even going, I'm going to speed limit. I'm probably going like 28 miles per hour. But the car is so loud, the dude pulled me over. I know they had just changed the rule, especially in Northern Virginia, how the exhaust and all that stuff was, they were gonna start pulling people over, but I didn't think it was gonna be that big of a problem, especially in the section I live. I knew, if anybody's from Northern Virginia, you know Fairfax, what's some other big spots that are bad? Loudoun County, Arlington, yeah, those are places anybody who has a car knows you want no parts of going there at all. But yeah, I got a ticket probably 10 minutes of me driving that home from work. And then I also got one a week later.
Bro, all I'm trying
like,
to do is go to work.
And I don't know, it was weird. Like, I don't know, it kind of stopped. Once I got the tent, it kind of stopped. I want to talk about the future plans and what I have already done to the car. The car is already full bolts on with an upgraded PRL turbo. What I want to do to the car, I always have mixed emotions. My dad tells me put in the car show, and me personally, at young, you know, many people want to go fast. So it's like, I don't know, I want the best of both worlds. But you know, you need a lot of money, bro. That's why you see a lot of dudes in the car game be older, like they're either 28 or they're really older. They got that long money. It ain't no yacht money, but they got some money. That's the thing. So I'm trying to, it's not budget, but I'm trying to also spend where I want to spend, because I don't want to go spend $1,000 wrap when I can spend $1,000 on a fuel pump or something like that. That Accord. But what I want to do coming up, I want to try to really, like my dad told me, just kind of like see the progression. So I want to put in a couple car shows, see where I place, and see kind of just the development, how it goes between a year to 2 now, because the car is probably not gonna look the same. It probably won't look the same probably a couple months. So that's really what I want to see. And many people really want to know would I recommend buying a higher value car at your age. I don't know. I teetered on that when I was first getting the car. I remember I was walking around I was like, you know, you're a kid, you're pacing around the doctor's office. I'm just pacing. I'm like, man, I don't know if I should get this car, because it's one of the things like, all right, I get this car, like I paid car bills, stuff like that, but it's never been to the extent of, all right, this is way more than I'm used to spending. Before I had extra money to spend on 2-3 pairs of Jordans, to now it's like, bitch, I'm going to the car. So it was stuff like that. I was thinking, I asked my dad, I was like, yo, what you think I should do? He's like, man, you gotta think about it. You ain't never gonna be 20 again. You especially not gonna be a 20-year-old to own that Type R. So honestly, it depends on how you feel, especially your income and what you want. If you want it, go get it. At this point, it's like you see so much stuff happen. You don't know if you're gonna live today or die tomorrow. So at that point, it's like you might as well do what you want to do. Actually, my license plate, it literally says financial mistake. Ain't really financial mistake. I love the car, but you get the point. It's a little, it's cutting my pocket short a little bit. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I got for y'all. Battle Boy Trey. Alright, yeah. You said, alright, I said I ended it by King Battle wanted to come give him this backstory because he was talking behind my back, bro. He was telling people stuff that I didn't even know at first when he was talking about me. So I'm gonna let him come in and tell his side for how he felt when I told him I wanted a Type R.
Alright, man, so what happened was, this is Cash Man for everybody that don't know. He's one of the Battle Boys too. He's a 6.5-year-old Boston Terrier. He doesn't have any scarf or anything on right now, but yeah, I just got it right now because he won't run off or anything, but that's another story. So Trey came to me about this Type R, a Type R, and at the time I was like, actually I was thinking like, he was like, hey, I want a Type R, and I knew they were expensive cars, and I said, well, they're expensive. He's not going to qualify. So, and then I knew the insurance was going to be really high. So I was like, that's two whammies. So he came, he said, hey, I want a Type R, whatever, and he found a couple that he was interested in. Actually, he found a Nardo gray or a gray one that he really wanted to get. And I said, well, if you're serious about getting it, get a loan. And, you know, call the bank, whatever. And he knew the process because he's pretty familiar with that. So he called the bank, and he come back downstairs, and the price was significant, as you all know. Type R's are expensive. So he came back and he said, hey, I'm approved. I was like, that was the first shot. Damn, you got approved. So I'm like, okay, well, the insurance is going to definitely scare him away, right? So I was like, hey, did you call the insurance? Yeah, I called. I'm gonna check it. All right, cool. So the gray one fell through. We looked at a white one, and a couple weeks went by, and then this one popped up, and the price was like really good, and whoever had it took meticulous care of it. So I was like, and at the first it had like a couple things, like the exhaust was on it. He didn't want any ones that was modified, but I said, look, you should probably go look at it. The price is good, or whatever. So we go look at it. He obviously has the check already and everything, and we go out there, and he loves the car. It was really loud. The exhaust was really loud. And so I told him, I said, hey, look, you know, when we purchased this car, he had already made a decision to purchase. I said, we got to call and add the insurance. And so when I called to add the insurance, I said, did you do that? And he goes, yeah. I said, I'm looking like he didn't do it. He didn't add the insurance. That's what happened. Or he didn't get an insurance quote. So the insurance quote was like $270 or something like that. So I said, hey, it's going to be $270 on top of this payment. He's like, what, $270? Because he was paying like $150 for the Volkswagen. So he's like, I could front it. I'm cool. So everything's good. A couple weeks go by, I get this letter from USAA. They're like, hey, we reassessed your policy. Another ticket came in the mail. The policy is now $480 a month or whatever, right? So I'm like, and I'm just ad-libbing. They didn't say this to me, but this is I'm reading the letter. So at the time he was at work, I said, oh, I got something for his ass when he coming here tonight from work, right? So he comes in, and I said, hey, you got a reassessment of insurance. So I gave him the bill, and he was like, $408. And so that doubled the price of what he was already paying. And so and I know he was already looking because he had already put money to the side for the suspension and the wheels and all these different things he wanted to do to it immediately. So I know that put a dampener on a lot of that, which delayed some of the things he wanted to do. But we ended up finagling it to where, because we have a few cars on the policy, and I moved some things around so that the car became cheaper than the $480. It was more toward actually a little cheaper than the original price than what we were originally quoted. And but I say this, the car's got a lot of power in it. It's probably one of the fastest bolt-on Type R's around here, considering the turbo upgrade and all the bolt-ons and everything. Am I a little worried with him driving fast cars like this? Not really. I think we should all trust our children to do, he's a young man now, but trust our kids to do what they're gonna do in life. And you know, if the power's he's gonna use it, but I just hope that he does it responsibly. And ironic enough, all of his tickets have not been in any of the car enthusiast cars. All of his tickets have been in regular cars. His last ticket was in a rental Nissan pickup truck that he was speeding in. So these things don't seem, even though he got pulled over twice in the same week in this thing, but it seemed to, you know, it seems like he gets a little bit more admiration and people asking him about it rather than getting harassed by law enforcement and all that stuff. But yeah, I just want to get my spill. I'm not sure if he's gonna make it on the video cut or not, but and I'm sure we got some other stuff to talk about because we got a lot more stuff to do to this thing. He has some plans that he wants to do to fully share with everybody as far as the customization and stuff. But it's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe with it. I'm excited that he has it. I've always wanted a Type R. I wanted a Type R Integra when I was about his age. Hell, I even looked at buying one about 6-7 years ago, buying the 2000 version of one, and I didn't get it. So, and I'm still actually earlier today I was looking at how much they cost for, you know, older model Integra Type R. So I was looking at one. I'm always looking, you know. But yeah, it's just stupid. It's just not feasible for me to buy something like that. And I want a vet, port. That's just different things I want as far as if I want to buy a car. So I'm gonna be a Type R Integra. So I'll live through him with this thing and see where it goes. But yeah, that's my little spill.